Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tarot with Titania reading of the week from May 15th to the 22nd, 2026. We're here in the merry month of May. I hope you're enjoying the beauties of this season wherever you are and adding your enjoyment to the benefit of the human field. With that, let's set the intention for this reading. I invite you to close your eyes and let's take 3 nice deep breaths together. By doing so, we pull our attention and energy into focus across time and space, so we become congruent and aligned. And with that third exhale, I invite you to imagine a tree root coming down out of the base of your spine, going deep down into Mother Earth and grounding you here and now in this present moment, knowing that this tree root is not only anchoring you and grounding you, but it is also a conduit through which anything that no longer serves you can easily pass down into Mother Earth and become compost for your new good growth. Creator, this is your daughter Titania, and I'm here with all of your children co-creating this reading of the week for May 15th to the 22nd, 2026. My intention is to be a clear channel for the information we most need to receive right now, and to provide this in a manner that we will easily and effortlessly hear, understand, and integrate for our personal and our collective highest and greatest good. I call upon my higher self and the higher selves of all those listening, as well as an overlighting angel of communication, to be present and facilitate our exchange, ensuring that it happens in the highest and best way possible, and that we cover all that is essential and uplifting and helpful in this window of time that we have together here today for our highest and greatest good. I'd like to acknowledge the overlighting deva of my heart's home, who holds me as I do these readings and supports me in my day in and day out life. Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge the overlighting devas of all those who are listening in now and in the future, offering thanks and appreciation to those intelligences, those organizing intelligences of the places where we find ourselves as we do this work together. We thank you for all your love and care and support. I'd like to invite the 4 archangels now to come and hold the 4 directions around us, creating a sacred container across time and space, uniting us in our focus, our intentions, our love, our desire to be of service and to create positively in the world. I invite Raphael to hold the east, Michael to hold the south, Gabriel to hold the west, and Uriel to hold the north. Thank you for coming. Anything that doesn't match these frequencies and intentions is welcome to go now. Okay, my friends, let's get into this week's reading, shall we? And this lovely rose is one of the first of my garden. It just bloomed today. Abraham Darby. It is a David Austin rose and one of my favorites, both for color and form and scent. The Westerland is also begun its bloom, and it has fabulous aroma. So I'm pretty happy that we've entered rose season. So Creator, what is it that we most need to know this week in service to our highest and greatest good, our highest contribution, our ability to rise above our human limitations and hold more of the broader, wiser part of us in every moment, so we can respond with clarity, with humility, with grace, with ease, with love and kindness, in service to all of our best? What do we need to know, Creator, please, for all of our good, the good of humanity? Okay, here we go. Judgment. Major Arcana, of course. Judgment card is the second to last, or the one before the last card, which is the World. And the higher octave of the Judgment card is Discernment. So we have this hand reaching through the density, the heaviness of these darker layers into the lighter, rarefied realms. That's us from the density of our humanness, striving for the higher, broader, wiser aspect of us that we are seeking to hold more of in these human forms. It's this incredible mastery process that we are in the midst of developing. This is how do we tune our bodies to be cleaner and clearer and more receptive and more open and more porous to that broader, wiser part of us, so we can hold more of that loftier frequency in our human field at any given moment, thus being able to use these human forms in service to the greater good while we are embodied here on Earth. So it's a really interesting time that humanity is living through because we are becoming intentionally conscious. Now, there have always been masters who have done this. This is not a new thing necessarily, but what's new about it is the number of humans who are doing it now at this time. So it's a very, very different set point that we are leaning into as humanity. It's how do we deliberately hold more of this, hold more of that broader, wiser part of us, the kinder, the observer, the heartfelt, the conscious and deliberate and intentional aspects of ourselves. So this card is showing us that striving, that human striving that we have, that aspirational aspect, that desire force that exists within each and every one of us, and how we can use that to push ourselves forward and use that power and that connection to the broader, wiser part of us to be of higher and greater service. And we do that through discernment. So judgment implies making others wrong. There's this sort of sitting in judgment of others. And understandably, when we perceive what others do wrong, we know what we prefer. We know we don't want to participate in that. The higher octave of judgment is discernment. That's when we say, okay, I don't need to make anybody wrong for their choices. I can simply discern that that is not for me. And from that wisdom, from that discernment, making a different choice, making a different decision about how we're going to be. So this is the card that we're starting with this week. This card of judgment or discernment is sitting in our past. We've done this before. We have discerned what is most appropriate for us as we strive, as we aspire to be the greater, wiser, broader part of us, or have more of that in our field at any time. And it's important. It's part of our soul growth and evolution as a major arcana. It's showing up now saying, hey, this is important. We need to be deliberately cultivating this as we move forward in life at this time. The present card is the Princess of Hearts. And as we know, in my deck, they're princesses. In other decks, it would be a page. And this signifies new life, new beginnings, new starts, fresh starts on the level of the heart, on the emotional space. When we discern what's appropriate for us, we have new distinctions. We don't have to run around again in this space of judgment or making wrong or being wary and defensive in the world. When we're clear that we each have our lane and we're each having our experience, we don't have to carry anybody else's experience with us. And when we judge somebody and we're making them wrong, there's creating a resistance and a push against, which drags them along with us. It enmeshes us with another if we do that. But by freeing ourselves to the clearing of discernment, understanding that we're each here having our journey, having our experience, we can't know what it's like to be in somebody else's skin, we can rise to something greater. We can rise to our own, again, what is right for us, what is appropriate for us from the inside out. And this creates space for new beginnings on the level of the heart. We can call all that judgmental energy back to our own field to have back, because when we're hooked in like this, we have all this psychic drag. It creates a lot of resistance and makes it really, really difficult for us to be as free as we want to be in this present moment. So switching from judgment to discernment, it takes some practice, it takes some intention, and it comes with the breath. The breath is the magic ingredient. It is an ongoing thing. This is why it's involved in all the sacred practices on this planet up to now. Inspiration, drawing life in through us, through the breath, into the body, and exhaling. We excrete a lot of toxins when we breathe out. We bring fresh air in, and then we're pushing toxins and things that no longer serve us out. It's incredibly powerful physiologically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to remember our breath. So by transcending judgment, stepping into discernment, the observer, and observing what is appropriate for us, we have new openings on the level of the heart. With the breath, we can hold more of that broader, wiser frequency in our field. We can create that observer space and stance within us so that we are not as reactive as we may have been in the past when we were judgmental. We can rise above and find more peace, more centeredness, more groundedness, which will help us to be better cooperative components with life. Because fundamentally, that's what we're here. We're here cooperating and co-creating with life. And we do that better when we're peaceful, when we're grounded, when we're centered, when we're in that observer perspective and we're not running around making other people wrong so we feel either better about ourselves or like we're being productive somehow. We can't change anything by making something wrong. It doesn't work that way. We change things by observing that that isn't for us. And we aspire to something more, and we allow ourselves to aspire to something more. So it opens our heart. And when our hearts are open, we're led in new and different ways rather than being dominated by the mind and led around by the mind. Near future. Here we are, the love card, Ace of Hearts. And so, as you've heard me say before, aces are like acorns that grow into oak trees or have that potential to grow into mighty oaks. So think of all that vitality, that life force, and then all the acorns that come of that lead to their own possibility space. We're moving into a time of greater love through our intentionality, through our mastery that's coming through our discernment and through the heart opening that's happening as a result of this discernment. This acorn of possibility expanding into the field of love. We all have access to love, whether we're aware of it or not. And some of us maybe have become distanced from it because of trauma or because of hard experiences. And we've compressed and protected our hearts. And that's limited our capacity to drop into the heart. But it's through the breath, once again, through the practice of the breath, through the practice of being here now in our human bodies. The breath brings us back to the body. The body is the compass. And yes, there's lots of work to do these days to clean these things up because that's the time that we're living through. The opportunity to clean all this old stuff up, intergenerational, our own stuff. We have opportunities here. And there's phenomenal resources on the planet right now to do this good work. The healing traditions, the traditional modalities of various cultures help. They have tools with this. And there are modern aspects of this as well. I'm particularly fond of emotional freedom technique, EFT tapping. I really love the Bach flower remedies, and there are other flower remedies that have been created around the planet from the work of Dr. Edward Bach. There's homeopathy, there's traditional Chinese medicine, there's Ayurveda, there's yoga, there's Tai Chi, there's Qigong, and those are just the ones that I know, and I'm sure you know of others, and I would invite you to put them underneath. Inner resonance technology is another one that a friend of mine developed, and it's a brilliant modality for shifting deeply, helping us to unearth and dissolve and become free of old limiting beliefs and patterns and conditionings that we've had. So there's wonderful, wonderful resources out there that are helping us to clear this deck, to free ourselves from that resistance and that density that we, as humans, in these tiny, dense forms, have been limited by in the past. But we're rising now. This heart opening is taking us into new directions. We can't even begin to fathom what that magnificent oak tree is going to look like. But we just need to keep taking the journey, keep showing up, doing our best, and using the tools that humanity, our brothers and sisters, have developed in service to this. So many masters have come to this planet with this deep, deep, deep desire to be of service to humanity. And as a result, they've brought forth an offering in service to our transformation, to our release of this resistance so that humanity can be freer and move towards more light. Now, we need to understand that the contrast, we've talked about this before, the contrast is always serving us. The contrast is what helps us to know what we prefer. We need the dark to the light because in the darkness, the light is clarified and distinguished. If it was all the same, there would be nothing to distinguish. But through the contrast, we know what we prefer. We know what we want. We know what we love because we know what we don't love. And this discernment is helping us not to be so attached to the knot. It's about being soft and observant and witnessing and recognizing and discerning, but not being attached. It's a very, very interesting thing. Coming back to the breath, understanding we are a broader, wiser part of us. There is a big energy that we are, and just a small part of it is in this human form at this time. As we move through the planet, we can cultivate having more of it in our field. And that's part of why we're here on the planet at this time, is helping humanity to do that. As more of us do more of this, it becomes more endemic in the population until we hit a critical mass, and that critical mass just flips the whole thing. And then humanity is different because, well, there's been this building up of momentum, and we've just hit that trigger point that makes it ubiquitous. It changes our physiology, our biology, our genetics. We're in that process now. And like I said, we can't imagine what things are going to look like because we're still sort of stuck in this resistant model, but we're getting there. And so you being here, you're a certain kind of person. You're doing the hard work. You're doing the good work. You're showing up. You have that very, very strong desire to be of service to humanity and to create change and transformation. And your desire force for that striving, that aspiration to be something more is pulling more of that into your field, but also into the human field, because we're all connected. And the more of us that move in that direction, the faster this flip over will happen for humanity, this next step in our evolution. We're in process right now. We're reaching those critical numbers of people who are conscious, deliberate, intentional, who are striving, who are using their breath, who are in practice in whatever form serves them to help them to anchor more of the light and love force in their field in any moment. So, never be discouraged by the contrast of the larger world. Recognize that contrast doesn't necessarily have to do with you individually. It's to help our brothers and sisters discern that they're not wanting that anymore. And that helps them to have new distinctions. And all of us then, with our new distinctions, are crafting the earth that we want to see happen. The more beautiful world we all know is possible in our hearts. And the foundation card this week, the name of the card is Sacrifice, the 8 of Hearts. So it is an emotional journey. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Emotions are part of our humanness. But they are of service to us. They are not the boss of us. They are information. When we feel bad about something, we understand that we're out of alignment. When we feel good about something, we are moving towards our congruence and our yes. So when we understand this, we no longer allow ourselves to be at the effect of our negative emotions. We use them as a springboard for our clarity. First comes discerning. I am feeling resistance. I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling frustrated. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling concerned. I'm feeling frustrated. Whatever negative emotion you want to call it, when we're having strong feelings, they're helping us to clarify something in our field. When we've been unkind, we may feel remorse and discomfort because we've acted against our intentions to be kinder, to be wiser, to be gentler, to be more congruent. And when we understand that, we can go, okay, it's just our guidance system kicking in, helping to remind us that we are off our target. So with this beautiful card here, yes, sacrifice in the sense of these emotions can be difficult. We can have a hard time moving with ease when we're in this place. But the more we can remember that we are striving, that this is a human aspect, that we're going to come up against it. It's part of our makeup. And when we understand it better, we can leverage it to be wiser, to be kinder, to be stronger, to be clearer, to be healthier, to be more congruent, to have better discernment, so that we can create this beautiful heart-centered existence, not only in our own experience, but that of everyone else. And I love so much that these cards have shown up as the symbol for love. The rose is in season. This is the season of blooming of the heart. New beginnings on the level of the heart. It's a beautiful synergy here at my end, at any rate, that I'm seeing and I'm enjoying and appreciating, and I hope it's inspiring to you. It's okay. we are human beings spiritual beings having this human experience. And it's never an easy one, but the more deliberate and conscious and intentional we become, the more it facilitates this movement towards more intentionality, more consciousness, more discernment that serves this beautiful direction that is calling us, that our hearts are calling us towards. So even if it's difficult, keep breathing. Whenever something is difficult, especially when something is difficult, remember to breathe. Bring inspiration into your field, into your body. Create space between your cells. Give yourself room so that you can step into the observer's perspective. You can witness yourself and your experience, and you can help yourself from that broader, wiser part of you to better navigate the usual clogs and holds-up and resistances that we experience in human form. So it's a lovely reading, a lot of heart energy this week, patience and kindness with ourselves, understanding the journey that we are on, and that as we strive, we become better human beings. And as a result of that, we craft the beautiful new earth, the new home, this new experience for humanity, which maybe is a return to what we had before. I don't know. It's an interesting conversation to have. But I think the main thing that we need to take away this week is this idea of stepping into the observer, supporting ourselves in having that, and creating spaciousness so that we can feel into our lives with our hearts, with the breath, connecting us to the broader, wiser part of us so that we are wiser and kinder, more resilient and adaptable, and more oriented towards the loftier aspects of life rather than the smaller, denser aspects. And be patient with yourself if you have a lot of this going on. It's okay. No need to judge. It's an opportunity for discernment. It happens to all of us. Boy, it can be really challenging at times, the feelings that come up. And it's okay. It's just information. You're not wrong. You're not bad. It's just information. And where do you go with that information is what's important. So with that, let's pull our card to grow on. The other thing that's in bloom right now is the hawthorn tree. And the hawthorn, Latin name is crataegus, and it's a powerful heart medicine. Soothing and harmonizing with the heart. And I invite you, if the heart is an area of your life where you have resistance and ongoing experiences, go research crataegus, hawthorn, and learn about it. Because it is one of our plant allies that can help us to have more harmony and healing on the level of the heart. Okay, what is our card to grow on, Creator, for this week from this space of love and new beginnings on the heart? And we've pulled the beautiful card of signals, communication, 8 of Wands. This is this standing in our desire, which is what the rose symbolizes. We have a match here from the rose to this one. We pull in and magnetize our relationship to life. When we are in that energy of striving, of gratitude, of appreciation, of loftier frequency and energies, we pull in experiences and ideas and opportunities that are connected to that are of that same frequency. So becoming mindful like this about what it is that we're experiencing helps us to change how we're interacting with the universe, how we're dancing with life. So this week, as we go about our lives, think about the signals that you're sending. What are you feeling? Because the universe responds to our state rather than our words. And once again, this is why we cultivate that experience of gratitude or words of gratitude or a practice of gratitude, because when we are in the lofty energy of gratitude, we're giving ourselves permission to pull more to be grateful for in. The universe says, you love that? Let me send you some more to love. Let me send you some more to appreciate. Let me send you some more to be grateful for. So that high frequency of appreciation is one to cultivate. And this beautiful energy that we're creating is setting us up. When we follow our yes, we draw in more of our yes. When we're in appreciation and gratitude, we draw in more to appreciate and be grateful for. These are incredible tracks, fields, ways of being that can only serve our highest and greatest good. And the more of us who get on board, like I said, the more we facilitate this for humanity. So understand that our journey is towards more of the heart, is towards more of the yes, is towards more of what lights us up, it's towards more of what we're grateful for. And being mindful and conscious and deliberate and masterful enough to be present in this moment and allowing ourselves to have that gratitude, allowing ourselves to feel appreciation, allowing ourselves to really just absorb the beauty, whether that's a heart-to-heart with somebody we love or a freshly bloomed rose in our garden. Give yourself over to the beauty of the moment. Bask in it. That also is allowing oneself to infuse our field with that higher frequency energy that makes us more magnetic to more of that resonance. It's easy to do at this time of year in the Northern Hemisphere. It's spring. Open your heart and your field and your consciousness to the many, many beauties that surround. Let yourself have it. Be with it. Soak it up. And even if you're in the lower hemisphere, the southern hemisphere, there are so many beauties in autumn going into winter, from the external to the internal. We can cultivate this at any time of year. I personally just find it a lot easier in May when it's such a glorious month and there's so much in bloom and there's so much beauty to be appreciated and absorbed and dwelled upon. So, our signals. What signals are we sending to the universe through our frequency, our set point, our state, and what's coming our way? And play with this. Play with this in the universe. Notice what you're focusing on and notice what comes your way. And it will teach us all a lot about who we're being and how we're being. Because what we draw in is a direct response to how we're being. So that's our card to grow on this week. Thank you, deck. I invite you to close your eyes, take a nice deep breath with me. Drawing in the wisdom from this reading, breathing out what doesn't serve, knowing that we are each unique and we will each receive what it is that we most desire and require for this coming week in service to our highest and greatest good, our highest contribution, because that is the intention that we have set. We are powerful, powerful creators and manifestors. And as we gather here every week, we combine our energies into a beautiful intention. We are deliberate co-creators of the new earth, of the beautiful world our hearts know is possible. And when we focus on beauty, it cracks us open in magnificent ways. That's why witnessing sunsets or things in bloom or puppies playing or goslings newly born and floating about with their moms is such a delightful experience. It lightens our heart, it opens our heart, and makes us more congruent with the essence of the universe. Thank you, Creator. I love doing these readings, and I love connecting energetically across time and space with all those who join me here every week. I am so grateful to all the beautiful beings on this planet whose hearts are opening every day more and more, who are practicing and leaning into their mastery, into their wisdom, into their discernment, into their wholeness, into their fullness, into that broader, wiser state of wisdom and grace and ease and flow and yesness. I am so grateful, Creator, for each and every individual who is on this path in service not only to their own unfolding, but to that of the family of humanity and to all life on this planet, because of course we are all one. I ask for continued guidance continued blessings, many, many God winks, serendipities, pleasures, and happinesses to find those who join me here every week, that we may rise even more, buoyed by these glorious bubbles of light and love, carrying us upward into the rarefied realms that we are all naturally drawn to. I want to thank all those who helped to hold this space. This reading for this week is once again at an end. I look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you for being part of this, for adding your energy to mine and making these readings possible. If you'd like your own reading, I am available for online readings. If you happen to be in my part of the world, on the little island of Bowen on the west coast of Canada, I would be delighted to meet with you in person. Details are below for booking. And of course, you will see me next Friday. Thank you. Much love and light onwards and upwards. Bye for now.